I wholeheartedly welcome you all to this program on behalf of the management of IVRCL Infrastructures and Projects Limited. Respected ma'am, other dignitaries on the dais, Mr. Barnes, other professors, teaching staff, friends, colleagues, would-be young management professionals of our country, and finally, my dear brothers and sisters. At the outset, I am very, very happy to be with you all in this morning gathering. And I really felt honored when Mr. Barnes has invited me to deliver a talk today. That's how I am here today with you all. Though the purpose of our gathering is known to you all, I feel it is my bounden duty to speak few words on this occasion as a little senior to you all, since I am in the field since last 30 years. I am neither a professor or academician in the field of human resources. And whatever the management jargon have been going through, people have going through today, the same management jargon I went through almost 30 years back from Andhra University, Walter, when I was a student over there. And whatever the management jargon I learned, started applying the theory to the practice by virtue of interacting with, by virtue of my profession, interacting with day in, day out number of people. Whatever the experience I got, I came here to share with you all. That's how. So thereby, you need not waste your time once again. For your information, as she rightly said, I keep visiting to the number of organizations. Even yesterday also, I was with Hyderabad Business School till 6 o'clock in the evening. Let me go through there, we can understand what I personally feel. So the moment we are all born from the same style, we are from the womb of the mother for almost 9 months. Birth process is one and the same. But why very few people, I always have the same doubt. When the birth process is one and the same for every human being, right from the George Bush to the bottommost man on the roadside, why very few people are becoming so successful and why not others? What must be the reason? If I put the same questions to the society, immediately society jumps to a conclusion stating that if at all you study from a repeated institutions, and if at all you got a well education from the repeated institutions like IIMs and IIAs and IITs and all that, so they'll shine like anything. If at all it is so, so half of the rulers today, half of the employers today, as in date in India, they all must be IIMs and IITs. But if you see the record, it is not so. More than half of the employers are illiterate. That means what we can understand, whatever the education we think that it is very, very important, it plays up to a certain extent, not beyond. On the same point, recently a study was conducted in Stanford University. They had taken 100 highly successful people from the entire globe and studied for more than 2.5 years, and finally concluded whatever the education you have, whether the technical or non-technical, whatever the qualification you have, all that qualification will make you success only up to 15%. Then whatever the remaining 85%, that 85% depends upon the attitude. Now the attitude depends upon your behavior depends upon your thinking process, and thinking process depends upon the personal traits. If you don't have the right personal traits with you, whatever the qualification you have, that has no meaning at all. Nowadays, what my personal observation in the institutions, they are simply taking them by collecting the funds, taking the students into the organization, just passing on the time for 2 years, whatever the qualification they give. Whether you give the education or not, they can easily read. But ultimately, at the end of the story, they give some MBA, whatever the qualification, they give the stamp and they're sending them into the organizations, into the society, not to the organizations. And these guys, they think that the moment they come out, I did my MBA, I did that, and ultimately they're thinking that they want to get into the corporate sector. But it's not that easy to getting into the corporate sector. The reason behind, once you talk of the corporate sector, definitely we always expect that these people should deliver the goods. If they don't deliver the goods, it's not possible. And these commitment levels are very, very low. And very, very casual approach. Not only casual approach about the situation, even the casual approach for their life itself. What these people are doing, in which direction they are going, we are totally in the confused state of affairs. In case if these people, once they don't provide the employment in the organizations, ultimately they will be supposed to roam on the verandas on the streets. Ultimately they become the useless guys for the society. So that is the reason it is the responsibility of the institutions. Learn from better hear from the corporate sector, and change your syllabus. While making the syllabus itself, you must concentrate in this direction and give these inputs, otherwise it's very, very difficult. And even these people, they don't have the right vision at all, the right thinking at all. What we expect from the corporate sector, Generally, the 80% of they should have the proper vision with them. The 80% of the people, they have the drishti. Drishti means nothing but the sight. That means with the physical eye, you can see up to a certain extent. But the 10% of the people will have that. Whatever the drishti I said, it is nothing but in English we'll call it as a sight. And at least 10% of the people will have this srishti. Srishti with the mental eye, you can see beyond the drishti. That is called as insight. But we expect in the corporate sector, the blend of both the drishti and the srishti, there is a sight and insight, together we need the foresight. Such people only will be useful in the corporate sector. That is the mindset you should develop the people, and before sending to the organizations. Simply brand them with a degree and sending them has no meaning at all. At the same time, even the physical health. In the earlier days, we always used to maintain good health. That's what Swami Vivekananda said, right? Sound mind in sound body. Nowadays, they are not worrying about the health at all. At what time they sleep, what time they eat, what time they do other jobs, no regularity at all. Whenever they feel like eating, they eat. Whenever they want to work, they want to work. And whenever they go to a movie, they are going to movie. And that means there is no regularity at all. Thereby, today it may work, but once they cross 40, then they understand what the damage they are doing to their own health. But ultimately, if everybody else, ultimately it leads to the society health and the national health. So that is the reason. It is the responsibility of the teachers, along with the parents, in the corporate, in the colleges, and train them well. Teach them about the health conditions, health care, and what is the importance of the health. Thereby they will become useless people to society. Added to their communication skills are very, very poor. It does not mean that we can do many things. But whatever they want to express, they must be in a position to express. It is not there nowadays. And if at all you don't have communication, you may maybe have, it's nothing but a beautiful, communication is nothing but a wheels of a vehicle. You may be having a beautiful bench car with you, but it is punctured. So it cannot move in an inch. The same way, whatever you want to express to the people, they are supposed to develop their communication levels. That's what exactly yesterday I spoke for more than 2.5 hours in a particular college, and ultimately inspired them for more than 150 students. And at the end of the story, when I asked them, you are at liberty to ask any question. Come on. So if at all it's not possible, talk to me in Telugu. I can understand Telugu, you can speak to me. Even then they are not reacting. That means, what for they are coming, what is that they are hearing, that is not their fault, I am telling you. That is the fault of the teachers. The teachers are not raising up to the occasion. First of all, teachers, they themselves are not disciplined. That is the reason they are not inspiring the students, putting them onto the track. Ultimately, they are wasting their time and wasting the teachers' time and wasting the students' time. What for they are going, in which direction they are going, they themselves are not aware. It's all confused state of affairs. And at the same time, truth and honesty. Just like they talk lies. Which way or what for you are talking lies, they do not know. Where is the sanctity, they do not know. When you talk about the truth and honesty, my mind always goes to Abdul Kalam ji. For our information, Abdul Kalam ji, when he became the president of this country, look at the truth and honesty, sir, the level of truth and honesty with him. That is the reason he became such a great man. So when he became the president of this country, he was about to get into the parliament. Then press conference took place. After the press conference is over, he was about to enter. One young girl came in between and said, Sir Abdulji, if you don't mind, I have a personal question with you. Come on, nothing wrong in that. You just ask me, what's your question? Sir, if you don't mind, why are you growing your hair so tall? He smiled and said, nothing wrong in that. For information, what's your age? She said, 23. I lost my father when I was at 9 years boy. I was alone son to my parents. We are from Tamil Nadu. And for your information, when I lost my father, my mother used to keep Hindu newspapers on my head. In fact, I met very recently, just 11 days back, I met Mr. Abdul Kalam ji. So my mother kept the Hindu newspapers on my head and advised me to distribute the Hindu newspapers from one door to another door. Whatever the paisa I get, that is the bread and butter for myself and my mother. That was the poorness from which I came up to this stage. So my mother has no luxury to send me to the salon and where I can have the haircut. So that is the reason growing on. Whenever she feels after 6 months or somewhere, she permits me to go to the salon. That's how I used to have the haircut. Then this girl intelligently asked another question. So, okay, sir, the poorness, you did not go for the saloon, and today you are the president of this country, at least you can have the haircut today, right? Regular haircut, right? All there is got nothing wrong in that, but whatever the way my mother taught me till today, it was continuing, and she is no more in this world. So remembrance of my mother allowed the hair to grow. I did not feel any inconvenience with that. Look at his truth and honesty. That is the reason he was Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, and Bharat Ratna. That is the state of sincerity, honesty with the people. That is lacking with the young guys nowadays. And even with my two sons, I have got two sons, they are also going the same style. That means the culture itself has changed. We are supposed to change, otherwise there is no meaning as such in living. And be a leader. The leadership qualities. Since they are not taking the life so casually, so they are not worried about the leadership qualities. Why the leadership qualities? When it comes when you feel the sincerity, the commitment, your hard work, these are all the qualities you are supposed to have. Then only you feel that. But when these people are thinking very casually about the life itself, they are not worried about it. That is what if you talk about the leadership, what Dr. Narayana Murthy said, stand by examples. Lead by example, not at the rear. Stand in the front, forefront, lead the team. That is the type of quality you should have. That is the thing which we are supposed to imbibe in the young minds before sending them to the organizations. And self-confidence. Without the self-confidence, standing in the corporate sector is very, very difficult. You must go with a happy face, move with the confidence, take the team. Ultimately, you are the leader. If the leader himself is a grim face, long face, and angry face, greasy face, what is that he can achieve in the organization? Ultimately, it has no meaning at all. He is not a clerk. You are giving them MBA, giving them engineering. So they are coming here as leaders into the organization, so must have the different qualities altogether. At the same time, the earlier days, think globally and act locally. Now the concept has changed. No more globally thinking and acting locally. Now think globally and act globally. That means because of the globalization, liberalization and privatization, the standard of organizations have come up so well. So unless you think globally and act globally, it is not possible to achieve. During our earlier days, when Jawaharlal Nehru was the Prime Minister of this country, in 1948, the thinking itself is entirely different. So we used to dump crores and crores of rupees for the public sector units. When the public sector units were available and providing more employment to the more number of people, that was the concept there in India because of the human capital was very much available. So there was no difference between the donkey and the horse. Everyone we used to take. So there's no difference, donkey and horse. That means two animals have two horns on the top, a tail at the rear, and four legs in the bottom. But the qualities of the two animals are too different altogether. The donkey is meant for carrying the loads, and the horse is meant for running. So if at all nowadays in the globalized situation, the globalization, liberalization, privatization situation, and this juncture if you ask, I don't require donkey, I want a horse. Not only horse, I want a healthy horse, not the sick horse. Not only healthy horse, I want a running horse. Not only running horse, I need a winning horse. That is the style you are supposed to operate. Otherwise, simply passing on the time, you will become a passenger. You cannot take a leader. You cannot become a leader. So these are the qualities which we are supposed to develop within themselves. Otherwise, it's very, very difficult. And finally, add value to the organization. These young guys, what they feel, in particular company, they are paying 25,000 rupees for my same classmate, but these people are paying 20,000 rupees, and other people paying 15,000 rupees. Just because you have come from a particular organization, it does not mean for everyone they pay the same money. Ultimately, it depends upon the amount of value you add to the organization. As long as you add value to the organization will add value back to you. So that is the reason you are supposed to develop those qualities required for the corporate sector and develop in the minds of the younger guys before sending them from the institutions. Otherwise, they will become the failures and they may feel bad again in the society. And last, the human excellence. Whatever the job you do in this organization, in this world, sir, you are supposed to do an excellent job. When you talk of the excellence, my mind goes back to Swami Ranganathananda. And Swami Ranganathananda, for your information, born in 1915 in Pakistan. And got a first employment as a sweeper in Ramakrishna Mutt here in Lower Tank Band. That's at the age of 12 years. Job of Swami Ranganathananda, born in 1950, and 1927, he got the first employment as a sweeper in Lower Tank Bund in Hyderabad itself. His job is only to sweep the entire area. The same man became the gardener and promoted as a helper to the cook, then became the cook, then became the librarian boy, then became the librarian, then he converted into administrator became the director, and finally by the time he died, he became the head of the Ramakrishna Maths, not only here, not only in India, but every Ramakrishna Math available in the entire globe. That is the type of excellence we are supposed to operate. The same Ramakrishna Ranganathananda, for your information, whatever the intelligentsia you feel, the civil servants like IAS and IPS, and after completion, the all intelligence guys get into the IAS and IPS. After completion of the 2 years of term of their training, final word, what Mr. Ranganathananda goes there and talk to the students of IAS and IPS for just what for you are living this world. So much power is invested into your hands. It is your job to do your best to the society. So with his sermons, then these people become the matured, and they will be given to the IAS and IPS. That's how these people have started ruling the world. Asatama Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Murtyarma Amurtangamaya. Wish you all the best. Have a nice time. Thank you.